So, hey there, YouTube. Getting the shop cleaned up a little bit, getting things put away. Got a little bit more lights on for us. But right now, as you see, what we have behind us is the 95 Kobe. And what we're going to be doing is finishing up and wrapping up the DC conversion that I'm doing on here. So the DC conversion, I'm not going to go crazy into detail on how to wire it. It's because it is the same method that other people do. And I'm really not trying to steal business from anybody. But if you want to reach out to anybody and get any information about it, South Texas Banshee sells a great plug and play kit. Mine is going to be plug and play for me, and it's going to be kind of the same thing. But what I do is I have my aftermarket headlights that I've done, and I'm going to just show the wiring and how I did that part, but I'm not going to go into the floating state and all that other stuff because I've been on that in the last videos. So let's get this camera flipped around, really quickly go over this. Hopefully be able to get that working. And if it's working there, I'm thinking I might be able to go ahead and put a fuel tank on and kick a few times. So we'll see where we're going to be going with it. All right, so here we are. I have these heat shrinked, glue lined little inserts. Bought a whole bunch of these off Amazon. So what I do is the black wire is the ground. The yellow wire is, I'm pretty sure that's the high beam. And it's going to connect to the red, and the green wire connects to the blue and the yellow on this light that I have, and that's going to be the halo and the demon eye. And this plugs in, and it's going to go plug into the 93 harness. So if I ever get rid of these, I can just unplug them, and it keeps the harness as it is. I did go ahead and tape up the Torx connectors. I just didn't want those to dangle down later on. But right here is how they looked prior, just from me testing it out. And that's the exact same thing that I showed you. I just basically soldered them all, heat shrink them, and now I'm just going to put some vinyl tape up this area here just so it all blends in together. Run the wires down and back like they should be through OEM, and we should be good there. So we got those wires cleaned up as I stated, and down here, and they are taped up with the zip tie on them, both. So we're good there. Ran the wires on back through here, and zip tied them here, zip tied them here. This had a little bare spot showing, so I did put a piece of the heat shrink wrap on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the coil pack back on, and we're gonna be done with the wiring and stuff up front. It's basically just gonna be getting the wiring and everything else in the back done. But I did buy the Trail Tech regulator, rectifier. So I have it. I have the 5-wire one, and we have it all loomed up into a 4-plug. If you're going to do any of this, you do have to have some specialty tools. So if you're going to be tackling this by yourself, you know, unless you're going to just wire it in and solder it in and have to cut it out if anything goes wrong, I wanted mine to have plugs. So I have some strippers. And I have this special crimping tool here. It crimps those connections that you typically find like these little things. It crimps these up real good. So gives a nice good connection. It's going to go down here, and it's going to replace the OEM rectifier, the little one here. So that's going to come out, and the other one's going to go up there. Day number 2. So we're still out here, and we're trying to get this Banshee harness and everything good. Ran into another issue, but we're getting it fixed. I haven't narrowed down, but I'm going to discuss it with y'all here shortly. So what I ended up running into, the issue was I was able to get the wiring harness and everything on as I did. I built it. It worked well. Everything was good. My lights worked. Every function worked. And I was like, hey, we're at the point now to where I can go ahead and kick a couple times to see. Kicked. I could smell fuel, but wasn't nothing firing, like not at all. So I did do the infamous ether shot. Still no fire. Took the spark plugs out, no spark. So if you don't remember, I did pick this one up from a guy. I had OEM electronics on it. It was in rough condition. It was, you know, I had to cut the swing arm out of it and all that stuff. But the good side was it was an 05. And it was a 95, and, you know, I knew the color it was going to bring. So it turned out that I did a bunch of troubleshooting and everything, and my CDI is bad. So I have purchased another one from a guy online. So that's the plus with that. So I'm not really going to be waiting long. Hopefully it's here by the end of the week. I purchased it last night. He gave me a shipping tracking number this morning from USPS. So hopefully it's not going to be anything to where I got to wait like, super long. But we are going to try to get this thing to give some spark, and I'm just going to demonstrate it to you all what it was doing. I did go through the standards. If you have an issue with your stuff getting spark, check your coil. I swapped the coil out, no spark, with a coil that I knew worked. As far as my stator, I checked the pickup and the stator, the ohms, the resistance, and they were within spec, so that was all good. I checked all that before I installed it because there's no need to install it if it isn't good. So typically when I do this, I check all those things anyways, but I redid that. Then it was just down to the CDI. I thought my wire was grounding out, so I did take the wire loom off. So here you see the wire out of jacket. I just went ahead down through here and checked all the wires to make sure we were good, and I'm just going to start retaping this all back up. But it turned out up here when I took these wires out of the plug, I have no fire. So let me see if I can try to get it done, standing up here and looking. No fire. So I'm going to swap the coil out, or I'm going to swap the ECU out. They said this is an aftermarket one. I really don't want to use that on anything because I don't know, you get bad reviews on these things. And to be honest with you, I sell these machines after I get them together. Some I keep. This one I'm keeping. We all know the market. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're asking $10,000 for this Banshee. You're asking $12,000 for the Banshee. When I was little, you can get it for this, this, and this. But nowadays, you got to also look at the same aspect that you can't get a car for under $70,000 or $60,000 if you want anything nice. So if you want to go back and get you a Resto, Corvette, or Camaro that's of this year, you ain't going to be paying what they pay off the showroom for. But it's just crazy that you just hear all this expectations of that. And then, my 421, the blue and yellow, I think I did my budget build, and I had either 14 or 16K in it. I had no intentions of selling it, but people were like, that's only worth, people they want to offer you what the motor, it costs more to build a motor than that. But anyways, we're not talking about that. So when I do sell these machines, I kind of just don't want to sell them to somebody with a whole bunch of junk on them. So I try my best to make sure I am having OEM electronics. I want to have the OEM coil, pickup, and all that. The coil isn't that bad because that's the cheapest of the ones. But stator, pickup, I want that to be OEM. The computer, I want that to be OEM. I might sacrifice on the key, but it depends on the level. So you can get aftermarket keys, and the keys are just on and off. This one here is OEM in this machine. The one I put in the 05 is OEM. The one that's going to be in here is OEM, but I do have some ones that are not. Tail light, things like that. I'm not really concerned as much about those electronics, but I am concerned about the ignition and the running electronics, keeping those OEM. But I'm going to get that swapped out real quick, let you all see it, and get this thing fired up again, or try to get it kicked to see some spark. So here we are. We have the two square plugs. I'm wanting to say 95, 96. I'm not sure about 97. But this is what the one that came on it. And over here we have the one that is for a newer model. I think it's 06 and up. Or it's an 06 at least. And what I'm going to do is just take my wires that I have pins on that are all colored. The colors match. So in this color up here, we're going to put the orange one up top. Go to black and stripe. Right there next to it, up above it. Solid black. It's going to go beside the black stripe. And then we'll have a red with a black stripe going down below the solid black one. There's an extra wire. I'm not really sure if what's that too. I do know the extra ears. These ears came with like the actual brake light instead of the tail light. But yeah, I got to get that fixed. But we're good. All right, so let's come back over on. Let's see if we can get spark. Sorry, you can hear it. So we get plenty of spark now. So it's definitely that. That's an issue. And we got a new one coming. So before I completely ditch this, what I'm going to do is take the that OEM one that I have, and what I'm going to do is just strip a little bit of wire back further and just make sure I'm getting, you know, continuity back and forth. Because, you know, if one of the plugs is bad or something's corroded, I'd hate to buy a new one just for nothing and throw it in the trash, because these things are harder to come by and they're not cheap. So that is that. We're good to go. We're going to get this harness loom back up. I don't know if I'm even going to try to start it with the other CDI on it. Maybe I will, just to see if I'm going to be able to see what it sounds like. That's what I wanted to do in this video. Or I might just wait. I'll do them both. I'll probably try to get it started with that one on, get the new one in the mail, make sure the new one works, get it started up as well, since we know if we're going to know it's just that. But we're going to just get moving in this video. So we'll come back once we get that harness loomed up. All right, so we were able to get those few things done. Hopefully the fan isn't making too much noise. Did set a little fire on some stuff outside, set some stuff on fire outside. Smoke came in here a little bit, but we got everything kind of done behind us. I put the gas tank on and all that just because I wanted to make sure that my carbs weren't leaking, because if it all started up or was ready to start, I was going to kick it a couple. But let's go ahead and talk about the wiring that we did. The beard's jacked. All right, so everything is already run up, and I have some zip ties keeping it all together and having it come back to here. These are the two wires that are just coming up here. I am going to put connectors on those, but this is just for test. This is the bad stator, or the bad ECU, and this is the good one down there. But right there, when you click it on, tail lights are on. The halo and the demon eyes work. High beam, lights. And as I can see, reflection, the rear light still works. So that is a success on this end. We got the stator and everything wired up, and we have it floated, and we have the DC conversion. We went with the, as I stated, factory location. Trail Tech is right here. Didn't go crazy with it. We might end up getting the plastics on in the end of this video. We'll see, because I still want to take it down the road and see if it moves. So I just need to tighten up the axle nut. I think that's, who knows? I'm going to start it up here in a little bit. But yeah, that's it. So we have won that battle there. Got the new ECU coming in the mail, or CDI. I'm going to get it started real quick, let you all hear what it sounds like. And I'm liking where this one's going. We might have this one finished up in this video. So on. I need to get some pod covers. Shoot. So just revved it. I think it sounds really good. And the 421 has so much more oomph. But anyways, we will be getting the coolant topped off. I did just make sure I don't have any air bubbles in it. I'm going to probably take it down the road here in a bit, see what it's going to feel like. I got to be careful with this one. It is a bit more narrow than the other one that I had. And then if it runs good, I'm going to come back, get it sprayed off, get the plastics on, and then be freaking smiling for days. on. So as you all saw, man, it ran like crap. My eyes burning a little. And if you pay attention to the video right here, only one of my pipes, the right one, has any kind of stuff coming out of it. It's only, don't have no smoke coming out of it. So we have an issue. This machine, remember I bought it as a project. I did just start it up and it revved good. I really didn't check a whole bunch of stuff. I got it started. I should have checked a little bit more. I figured whatever condition it was in, if it was running, we'd have it running now. So what we're going to do is go over a couple things. The first thing I decided I was going to do, I do know that I've had, and if my carbs aren't in sync, you'll have a cold pipe and all that. So I make sure my carbs are fine and in sync, and that wasn't the issue. So before we move on too far, I did want to let you all know that I did decide to go ahead and take my carbs apart and check my jets and everything to make sure we looked good in there. I did find some unique stuff with the jetting, but it's not super crazy. But I just wanted to keep you all informed before I jumped into something completely new without giving you all a heads up. So let's go ahead and go with it. So I don't know if somebody bored it out or not, but this is a 108. And this fits in there like that, snug. Well, not super snug, but it goes in. And this is a 155, and it won't go in there. So I put 165s in because it fit at about right here, but I'm not really sure what's going on. Then, lo and behold, I decided that I was going to do the flywheel swap out, no changes. Stator swap out, no changes. Then, I mean, it didn't leave it down to anything else but the ECU. And we know that ECU worked on another machine, so we should be good there. I took the top off, took the spark plugs off, checked the compression. Two issues. I'm running pump gas, but one cylinder I had, it was 180. So at 180, I should be running some kind of race fuel above pump gas. The other cylinder was 150. That's a big issue off. So I took my top end off and I saw some damage in there. We're going to look over that. But let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So I think I found my issue. Right here. Oh, that's, it's like it's, you can feel it. For sure. So, yeah. On the other side, there's nothing that you can feel. Or maybe a little. Yeah, slightly. You can feel that there. So, guess it's top end time. So, here are my pistons. And like I said, this was all already in there, so I don't really know. I think this one looks really good. Well, I don't know. You can't feel any of this stuff, but then over here, rings move fine. I thought they were C's, but they're not. Same up here. Not sure what you would do with it. I think it all looks pretty good, but over here on my cylinders, I don't think they looked horrible, but like I said, I can see in here that that's a different color. I don't know if that means anything. Right up here, there are a couple finger catching, for sure, nicks. 1, 2, 3 of them. That one catches, that one, That one. This is the left cylinder that had the compression issue. The other one didn't. But I don't know, you know, you're more of an expert on this than I am. So I'm debating on, do I just need to go ahead and buy a whole new top end? Well, we have went ahead and figured out what our issue was there. So we have the cylinders and everything out. We have them right here. So like I said, we're going to send them off here. I'm going to go ahead and get they're freaking filthy for right now. I'm going to go ahead and get new base gaskets for them, and I'm going to go ahead and get these studs taken out as well. We're going to send them out, get those cleaned up. The 95 is sitting here looking good. I do have a new CDI coming. I did buy a CDI from somebody online, and it turns out it did not work. Thank goodness for people being honest, because this isn't the one. Mine is the one that has that little clip on there and plugs. His is the one right underneath here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that out. I did tell them that since it doesn't work, of course, I'm gonna send it back to them, because, you know, you wanna just present yourself as honest as possible too. People don't wanna be, you know, dealing with somebody who's just like not honest and everything like that. So I did get on to a guy named Dave Green. If you're watching this, you probably heard of him. He's like one of the parts guys. Him, Spencer Clipperton, I use them real good. They're really good. Alex Hornwell, really good, who I get my used parts typically from. But I do have another CDI coming inside the mail, so that's going to be good. But we're got a few weeks wait on those. I have the new pistons coming, so we're going to go ahead and get that done. I don't think that I necessarily needed to get new pistons, but since I'm going to go this far, I didn't want there to be any issues once they got them. I'm saying, hey, you know, the pistons didn't match, the pistons in there. Here's the pistons that I have. I mean, the dude said that they had very minimal hours on them, and you can't feel any of that, but you see a little bit of stuff there. This one looks, I think, really good, and I'm going to be saving them as a backup. And this is the other one looking really good as well. There's a little bit of glazing right there, but you can't feel any of that. I don't know, you all let me know. Did I make the right move of going ahead and getting new pistons while I was doing this? Or could I have just run those pistons and just got new rings? New rings are like $35 to $40 a set. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for subscribing, because I know if you're watching this far, you've already done that. And turn on the notification bell so that you'll be able to see the next ones coming up. Check out the 05 SE that I did right here. And then also, while you're here, go ahead and check out the 2005 421 over here.
I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy.